Hello, welcome to my channel. Today I am going to be talking to you about a set of books. I did another video, spoiler free, so if you have not read these books and you don't want to be spoiled, like I would recommend you go watch that one because, you know, these books are brilliant. If you spoil yourself, be disappointed because they are worth reading. Like, not they are worth reading, but they are so good. If I could recommend you any book to read, I would recommend you any book on my shelf that I've read would be Vendetta and Inferno, the Blood For Blood Saga. Yeah, so let's get on with it. So, the first book, Vendetta, we have this girl called Sophie. Her full name is Persephone. I'm not entirely sure how to pronounce it. She works at a diner that her dad owns, but will be passed on to her when she becomes of age, 18. She's 16 and she lives at home with her mum. Her dad is in jail for murder, and all is well until this new family move in, the Falcones, I think that's right. There's Luca, Nikolai, Dom, Gino, and Valentino, and they move into this house which has been abandoned. It is called the Priestly Place. Now, Sophie's uncle Jack, her dad's brother, is currently overseeing the diner and is a bit shady, let's admit that. So, when he hears of the Falcones moving into the Priestly house, well, at first everybody thinks they are the Priestleys, but we soon find out they are the Falcones. They're not a relation to the Priestleys. And when Jack finds out about the Falcones, he's like, you know, Sophie, don't mess with them, you know, bad news. And he then becomes very sort of in and out and very shady even more. And we find out that the Falcones, we meet their uncle. We never meet the mum really. The uncle, what's his name? Oh, that's like Felice. I'm not good with his Italian names, as you can clearly tell. It's a little bit weird. He has an obsession with bees. So the story starts off. Sophie has a honey pot left at the diner one night, and we find out along the story that it was left by Felice, and it's a sign that he is going to kill you because the Falcones are part of the mafia. Yeah, the mafia. And we find out how the Falcones and the Gracewells, Sophie's family, are connected. One night, we know Sophie's dad is in jail for murder, and one night, the person he murdered is the dad to Luca, Dom, Gino, Valentino, and Nikolai. One night, Sophie's dad is locking up the diner, and the story was told at the start is that their dad, Falcone's dad, was breaking and entering, I think. Yeah. And so Sophie's dad shot him. So I guns are about to use. I don't. And that is the story we hear for a long time. And when the Falcones, because Nikolai is romancing Sophie at this point, when they find out that Sophie is a Gracewell daughter, they all balk and be like, what? You know? And Sophie soon finds out they are part of the mafia, and the ending is so good. She gets, because she knows about the mafia and they deem her too close, Felice and Dom and Gino kidnap her and take her to Felice's place with lots of bees, must I add. Yeah, and all the henchmen, they're all family, like they're family members, but they're like henchmen. They beat up Sophie, but Luca comes. I know, Luca, oh my days, I love Luca, he's so good. Comes to rescue Sophie. Well, they all assume he's taking her to a warehouse because they have arranged to lure Sophie's uncle to the warehouse so then they can kill him, but they also are gonna kill Sophie. So Luca sets her free. And I was like, oh Luca. But Sophie goes to the warehouse because she knows they will be in trouble. Luca and Nikolai will be in trouble for letting her go. And she goes to the warehouse and hides behind some crates, and she sees instead of her uncle, he sent her mother. And Luca steps in front of Felice and is like, you know, you're not gonna kill her. That's Sophie's mother. She has no role to play in it. And he gets shot. And then it's like a shootout and they all start running. And Sophie runs over to Luca and her mother and they try and stitch him up, but because no one is coming, she's all a bit like, what are we gonna do, you know? And then Nikolai comes back and it's all sort of calmed down by then. People have escaped, people have run away, people have been shot, and they get him to a hospital. But also Sophie has been shot. I think it was in the shoulder or the leg. I know it's because she was beat up, so the injury she's got from the beating up. So then we go on to Inferno. So Inferno takes place pretty much after they are in the hospital, and we see Sophie being interviewed by police, and Felicia comes in and being like, you know, nothing's wrong, she's only in the hospital because, you know, Luca's only in the hospital for, you know. And we also see their mother, and we learn a lot of family history. We learn about this new family, and their mother's sister is married to the boss of this other mafia family. Yeah. And let me get my phone. Might be good. Ooh, I'm popular. Facebook has got lots of important messages for me. How popular am I? No, I know, self-promo. I'm going to read my own review. Because Sophie is so pompous like that. How pompous must I be to speak in the third person? Oh, we're on the review. And in this book, we see the friendship between Sophie and Millie grow, because Millie now knows that shady things are going on. And I love how, and especially in the first book, Millie wasn't jealous of the attention from the Falcone boys that Sophie was getting. She just, you know, unlike in some other books, you sometimes get their relationship crumble because she's the centre of attention with them for some unknown reason that they don't know at the time. And that is, I like Millie as MVP for this book, again, purely for her humour. And relationship in Inferno, like I've put in my review, are very crucial. The relationship between Sophie and her mum, Sophie and Millie, Sophie and Luca, and Sophie and Nikolai. Ooh, an email, I'm so popular. They seem crucial to this book. And so we have this new family, the Marinos, and they don't particularly like the Falcones, even though the two mums are sisters. And the history of the family is quite interesting. I think a bit of it went over my head, to be honest. A lot of things go over my head. And I kind of love and hated Donata Marino and Elena Falcone. I thought Elena was quite bloodthirsty and a good villain. But Donata I kind of sympathised with, because in the end, near the end, when after Sarah is killed, we'll get on to Sarah in a minute, I found it was her one redeeming moment. That sort of sadness and grief was quite interesting to read. Sarah, speaking of Sarah, I really liked her. We see her introduced when she's sort of stalking Sophie, and we find out that she didn't choose this life of being in the mafia. She was forced into it because of her family, which I find is a very interesting thing, because like in my review I said it's almost a parallel of Luca. We know he isn't a big fan of what he does. He doesn't want to do it. He wants to escape. It's not the life she would have dreamed of and wanted. And because she gets captured by the Falcones, who sort of bust a club and find her, he tries and saves her because him and Sophie know they're gonna kill her, and he tries to save her. And I quite like that, because you sort of can see he's trying to save her because he knows they are similar. They both don't want this. They both want out. And I've got a whole piece on Luca, don't worry. This is gonna be a bit like my vlog, which is terrible. I love Luca, and he saw himself in Sarah. And I found in the book, especially in the second book, we got to see him more, whereas in the first book it was quite centered on Nikolai and Sophie. Although we did have him and Sophie's relationship, I feel like we've got to see him more in this book, and that he does have a sense of humour. He does have a heart. He cares for his family very much, but I think he also cares for Sophie very much. Yeah. Although the last few chapters, what were they? What were they? We find out that Sophie's mum knew everything. She knew about her dad and what he did and sort of the whole mafia thing. And Sophie is very like, you know, and that it wasn't an accident, her father killing Luca's father. They are a mafia clan too. And I love the revelation, because as much as Sophie is mega angry at her mother for keeping the secret, she can see why her mother kept it a secret, because she knew if Sophie knew, her life would drastically change, because she would know all these people are after her and it's not a way to live. Like when Sophie says, you know, I'm bound by blood, there is no way out. I thought that was very showing of, it is true, if she'd have grown up knowing this, she'd be bound by this. There would be no way out. I suppose her not knowing gave her an out. She could be innocent, and if ever the cops busted them, she could plead innocent and it would be true. So then we drive to the diner and the fire. Felice and her uncle and Sophie's mum. After all this, after their hot talk, she dies in the fire, and I was literally like, I'm trying to hold my emotions in here. But I love Sophie's. I'm back. Battery died. Might be in a new position, but I'm back. Had a little charge, and I'm back. Oh, let's get in the right position. So, as I was saying, I love the way Catherine Doyle wrote the aftermath of the fire, because Sophie's grief was very, like, I've had grief myself, so I can sort of relate and know, you know, that's how I felt. I felt like, what's the point? Like, I didn't want to speak to anybody, I didn't want to see anybody, do you know what I mean? And then I love how Luca comes in, and because they've both lost someone now, he's lost his father, she's lost her mother, he can comfort her, but he knows himself, so he can sort of comfort her in the way she needs to be comforted. Like, she doesn't need anybody to tell her it's gonna be okay, because it might not be okay, but do you know what I mean? And where he's just like happy to hold her while she cries. I just find it so beautiful. And in this book they do actually kiss, and oh my gosh, that moment was just like, I can't believe that's happened. Like, I've been waiting 2 books for that to happen, and it happens. It's like, ooh. And also what we get in this book at the end is Sophie's conversation with Nick, which I think I loved as well, because she says she was in love with the idea of them two together, which I think is true. I think a lot of people can be in love with the idea of loving someone and someone loving you, but when it actually comes to it, do you know what I mean? Like, and he was in love with the idea of her, whereas they don't really, they're not meant to be. But then the ending was very a bit like, that's a bit ambiguous, this could go anywhere now. Yeah, it was Jack, who, her Uncle Jack, comes to her house to take her away, and he like tries to attack her, and she runs off. She ends up at the Vicario's house, and Luca answers the door, and she's like, I need your protection, and that's where it ends. I'm a bit like, this could go anywhere. I don't know what's gonna happen in the 3rd book. Like I said, as long as Luca and Sophie are alive at the end of it, happy together, I'm fine. You know, anything else can happen to any of the other characters, I'm not bothered. As long as Luca and Sophie are happy at the end, together, I'm fine with that. But I really did love these books. I love these books. And another thing I love about these books is they actually had me shocked. Like, I'm not really shockable, if that makes sense. A lot of things in books I can see coming. I don't want to brag and be like, I saw that one coming, but I do. A lot of things I can sort of, you get the hint of that's gonna happen. Whereas in these books, I was shocked. Like, I didn't see anything coming, which I thought was so great, and that's what I love about it. It was so fresh to me that I didn't see anything coming. I just loved them. And I cannot wait for the 3rd book. Eagerly awaiting it to go to add to my collection. Cannot wait for YALC. Catherine Doyle, is it YALC? I'm also gonna be sad when it's over, because it's like with Orphan Black. Sorry to bring Orphan Black into it, but I have 2 loves in my life. 3, 4. Orphan Black, Vendetta the book series, Blood For Blood Saga, my cat, my mum. They're the 4 loves of my life, really. Yes, my mum's my #1 fan, always will be, always has been. I will be quite sad, because although I can like reread them and stuff, it's like one of those, you can't get back the first time you read them, and the feeling of the surprise of not knowing what happens. And in a sense, I wish I could go back and read them again, but with fresh eyes, and have that surprise again. But they could. I would recommend these. If, like I said, if I was to recommend any book to anybody, I would recommend these, because you get your money's worth. Trust me, it's so good. So that was my spoilery review of the Blood For Blood Saga. Might have been a bit of a all over mess, but you know, just how I roll. This is the first review I've ever done, and I find reviews quite hard because I have processing issues. So it's like I have to have my thoughts, and I have to actually remember what happened in the book. That's why I write down a lot of notes. So it's kind of hard, because I read these quite a while ago. I do want to reread them. Like, I reread them when Inferno came out, but I want to reread them before YALC if I have a chance. I would like to, but I don't know whether I'm going to have a chance because I have so many books to read for YALC already that it could be quite a push, but I will read them maybe after YALC if I don't get a chance before YALC. So book reviews are quite hard for me because I have to sort of remember what happened in the book, remember the characters. It's not I don't remember them, because I do, just because it's not the book I'm focusing on at the minute. It all goes. Not that I don't love them, it's just book reviews are quite hard for me because I sit here like having to flip back to a bit in the book, unless it's like the book I've just read or the book I'm reading at the minute, although even the book at the minute would be quite hard for me to sort of do a review on. Yeah, hopefully it went well. Like, comment, subscribe, tell me if you've read the Blood For Blood Saga, whether you love it as much as I do. No hate for this book because like I love this book so much. I love these books so much. It's a series. It's a saga. Get that right, Sophie. But yeah, thanks for watching. Bye.